I was supposed to speak at 2 o'clock. My flight got cancelled, so I took the other flight and came. Very quick one. After that, we can attend the Aarti. So, my prayers to the Guru Parampara and the Lordships to let me hear properly. So this project, Nitai Padakamala, that's the devotional name, the original name. But we'll be using the professional name, Go Stress Free with Wholesome Healing. So this project, what is this project about? If you have heard Hospital Gita, that's a project that a few devotees in Canada did, where they would call the chaplains and mail out the Bhagavad Gita to distribute them in the hospitals. That's the Hospital Gita. But this Go Stress Free project is a sort of extension of Hospital Gita, in the sense, the original one was more of faith-based, where the phone calls were made and the Bhagavad Gita was mailed to the chaplains for distribution. But in this project, we are taking two approaches. One is faith-based, and the next one is science-based also. And I'll tell you in a minute what exactly that means. This is the goal, but what I mean, both faith-based and scientific-based also, is when we call the chaplain and talk to them, we present the Gita, we tell them that this is commonly known as Hindu sacred text, and we request them to put it in the sacred spaces or chapel, and also few small booklets on the Vedic literature. So we request them that they be placed so they are accessible for the patients and the family members for spiritual support, especially in times of difficulty during the hospital stay. But very soon, we would bring their attention to the testimonials by the world great philosophers, thinkers, and leaders like Thoreau, Emerson, where they stated that there is magnificent Vedic wisdom and non-sectarian spiritual principles that are present in Bhagavad Gita. And we also bring it to their attention the information on wholesome healing that is present on Bhagavad Gita. That's where it is unique about this project. We are trying to bring out the wholesome healing information that's present in Bhagavad Gita that could be utilized to the patients and the interested staff members in the hospitals and all the medical facilities. So that's what this project is about. To take both the faith-based approach, so the books are available for those people who honor that faith, and also a scientific approach to cater to the needs of the intellectuals and those people who would like to explore more newer avenues in spirituality. So that's about the project, and the primary goal is to place Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and the small booklets on Vedic literature in all medical facilities, not just the hospitals, nursing homes, hospices, and outpatient medical offices and ancillary offices also. We did that in North Carolina. So that's the goal. And if possible, we have noticed that can be easily done. That's phase one, as I'm going to explain that very soon. That can be done. But if possible, we want to try and see if we can introduce mantra meditation with music therapy, that's kirtan, and vegetarian cooking and karma-free diet. Believe it or not, there are so many people who would want to know what this karma is about. And karma-free diet. And if you would like to, you can add yoga, pranayama, Ayurvedic diet, whatever you would like to. And all those services that you could offer, your congregation could offer, you could just add in their list. So that's one of the goals. And the third one is, after we give these training courses, and when the hospital and the staff are happy with the services that we provide, and when we see that there is more demand for these services, then we could integrate with the teams in the hospital, with the pastoral care services, employee health, and human resources. So we would be able to provide these services all along throughout the year, not just periodically here and there. So those are the goals, the primary goals and the other goals if possible, based on the receptivity of the hospital and based on the congregation size and the resources that we have to provide them. How do we do this? The approach we take here is to actually assist and facilitate the chaplains. We are not just going there, taking over and doing it. They may not like it, that approach much. So we will talk to the chaplain and we tell them that we are there to assist and facilitate them to provide wholesome healing for their patients and staff members. That's the approach. And when we get enough interaction and we get to know each other well, then they would ask us to give the courses. So those are the approaches that we would like to do in order to get to the goals that we have discussed. Okay. This is to quickly tell you the practical implementation of this project. How do we do this? Okay, we have the goals now and we know what the approach is. How do we actually do it? The implementation part of it. For clarity's sake, I just divided it into phase 1, 2, 3, 4. Phase 1 is when we call the chaplains and then meet them. That's phase 1. And when we meet them, that's the material actually I requested to pass. So this is a material that we show to the chaplains, a letter introducing who we are and what Bhagavad Gita is. That letter actually says that introduces Gita as a sacred text and also throws light on the metaphysical, scientific part of the Gita. Because not everybody knows about Gita, and even if they know, they only just know it as a Hindu scripture, that's it. So the letter would help us to actually tell us why we are there and what product we are bringing in. And there's one more thing, the orientation booklet. We had to write this booklet after my discussion with one of the directors of the pastoral care. When I handed the Bhagavad Gita to him and I called him a week after, he said, whatever you said when you came in first sounded amazing. And I opened this book, I didn't find anything there like that. Would you help me find out that information here? So that's in that, to meet that request and that necessity, we came up with the orientation booklet, a small booklet that you could see. That booklet quickly tells what Gita is from a medical perspective, from a wholesome healing perspective. So that would be a bridge, that booklet. I brought 2 copies and...
It's being circulated.
Yes, yeah. So that was written on the request by the director of the pastoral care services, who does not know anything about Gita but is curious to know from the wholesome healing point of view. So that is also given to the chaplain, and a pamphlet listing the services that we could offer there. Educational courses on philosophy and mantra meditation, music therapy, vegetarian courses, as we discussed. Whatever services you think you would be able to offer, you could just list it out on the pamphlet, and that goes in the first meet. And the last one here, so the last one here, there's a little writing on the mantra meditation text that we would like to give also. And the purpose of doing this is, it not only introduces the mantra meditation as a technique for quick mindfulness. The mindfulness is a big thing now, as you all know, in the health industry. And so we are going in there saying that that particular mindfulness that they're struggling to just be there, be in the moment, awareness, we are telling them that that could be achieved pretty quickly with mantra meditation and happily with the music therapy. So that's the text. Mantra meditation text does that. And very satisfying part in that text is, it throws the light, Vedic light, from the Vedic perspective, what this mantra meditation means. And that's where it is satisfying to see, whatever is given to us in our parampara is actually there in the text. So all those sincere souls who want to delve a little deeper into that, they get it there. And who want just some focus, efficiency like that through meditation also can get that too. So that meditation text is informative and is helpful. That that's phase 1. All this material is given to the chaplain in the first meet, and I will be happy to share all the material if you think it will be useful for you to, when you want to do that. I'll be happy to share all the material there. And after this first meet, when we give the pamphlet and the list of services, we get a call from the chaplain a little later, maybe after days or weeks, and we do the follow-up also. Then they would ask us to come and present this wholesome healing and metaphysical science is present in Gita. So they would ask us for a 1-hour session or a 30-minute session. So that's an opportunity for us to actually show what's there in Gita. From a Vedic philosophical perspective, also the wholesome healing thing. And to get ourselves acquainted what this wholesome healing means, and to also help the chaplains what we mean about the wholesome healing, we came up with a PowerPoint presentation of what are the components of wholesome healing from the senses, the mind, intelligence, etc. Brought the quotations from Gita and scientifically showing them how all this together means health. That is what wholesome health is. And also show them how Bhagavad Gita is providing the information to actually heal, help in that wholesome healing process. We will be done very soon. In 2 minutes, I will quickly show what I'm talking about. The PowerPoint presentation that we do in phase 2 to the chaplains, I'll just go over quickly. And for those who are interested, I can share that presentation also. This would be very helpful for us. A lot of us know, almost all of us know what this philosophy is about, etc. But it helps to have a PowerPoint presentation for us and also for the audience up there. So that's one. And the phase 2 is an opportunity to introduce the Metta meditation and demonstrate vegetarian cooking, talk a little bit about karma-free diet, how human body is designed for a vegetarian diet. So that's an opportunity. Phase 2 is an opportunity to do some demonstration and to do a little more talk so they get a clarity of what this is about. And next one is, it's called phase 3 when the chaplain, when the group of chaplains in the phase 2 feel that what we are offering is worthwhile, and when they want to know more about the courses that we are offering, then they would ask us to come to the hospital or medical facilities periodically on a regular basis, 4 to 6 week sessions like that. So that would be phase 3. And if the congregation is big and enthusiastic, and if they think that they can provide these services all year long, then they can team up with the hospital, pastoral care team, employee health, and human resources. These are the 3 potential departments that we could team up with to provide wholesome healing to the patients and the staff members, interested patients and staff members, all year long, whatever period of time that you think you'll be able to provide those services. So that's the scope of this project, from phase 1 to phase 4. From just placing the Gita and Bhagavatam in the medical facilities to actually work with the team in the hospitals to provide those services all year long. And the beauty of this is, this project is the flexibility. It could be done with as simple as 2 to 4 volunteers. Just do phase 1 or maybe phase 2 at their own convenience, or you can pull it to phase 3 and 4 also if you have resources and enthusiasm, and if the facility is receptive to the services that we are giving. So that's the scope of this project. And okay, this is all sounding great, maybe doable, but do you have any pilot study? Is a pilot project to validate any of these ideas? We did one in North Carolina. We did a project there. We tried to implement this, and these are the results of that. In about 2 to 3 weeks time frame, we were about 4 to 6 full-time employees. So at our convenient hours, we reached out and we could place the literature, Bhagavad Gita, and especially the Bhagavad Gita and small books, in 14 hospitals. In over 2 to 3 weeks time, just few hours here and there. That was very encouraging for us. So, that was phase 1. But that's when I noticed that the hospitals are really interested to know more about this. This is when we had to write the booklet to help, for better understanding, to look into the wholesome healing aspect. After that, I personally approached 4 hospitals, and all of them, they took Bhagavad Gita and also Srimad Bhagavatam. All the 4 hospitals, along with the small booklets. Initially, we did not think they would take Bhagavatam set. When I told them it's a set of 18 books, but that was possible more on the faith-based thing. When I told them that when somebody with my faith walks in, I would look for a Bhagavad Gita, that is part 1, and Bhagavatam is part 2. So when I see Bhagavad Gita in the chapel, I would look for the part 2. Because Bhagavad Gita gives me the basics, and Bhagavatam, that gives me the nourishment that I need. So that is how I would look for. So if you would be kind enough, you may please place the Bhagavatam set also in the chapel. And most of the chapels are small, so I asked them if they could place it in the library. So 3 of them, they agreed to place it in the library, and 1 of them could place it in the chapel. So that way the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita could go out. And small booklets, they take it very easily. And they could just place them in the library or in the sitting areas, patient sitting areas. And one of those hospitals out of 4 asked for phase 3 to provide regular services, but we're a small congregation there in North Carolina, just with 4 to 6 volunteers full-time. We didn't have the resources to provide phase 3. But we came to know that there is ample opportunity there if only we could, we have the big team and congregation to provide there. So those are the results of the pilot study in that 2 to 3 weeks course. And we plan to restart that in 2019. We had to take a break to come up with all this material. Those are the results. And as I said, the material included, the first 4 are for phase 1. The last one, PowerPoint presentation that I'm talking about. It'll take 2 minutes. I'll just get you acquainted with what that presentation is, and then we'll be done. We'll head to the temple for Aarti. Just to let you know, in North Carolina, those 14 hospitals, did I list here? I did not, but I'll show you the presentation now.
Where in North Carolina is this?
Hillsboro, New Golokadam. Yes, yes. Duke, yeah, Wake, Duke, and it was really encouraging that the federal government, VA Hospital in Fayetteville, when I met the director of the pastoral care there, they took Bhagavatam set, the Bhagavad Gita, booklets, and also they were asking for more of Bhagavad Gita, soft-bound Bhagavad Gita, to be placed in the patient rooms. It's because of the information that's present on the pamphlet. I think I have that information on the pamphlet of how it is medically useful, how the information present in the book is medically useful, and more so for the mental health. So that's what something encouraging when the federal government accepted it. That was very hopeful. Yeah, so this is the presentation. So when we meet the chaplains in the phase 2, this is what we are going to. This is, in a nutshell, we will be introducing what Gita is, just the basics of the Gita. And Gita, from the wholesome healing perspective, what are the elements that are mentioned in the Gita, and how the wholesome healing information is also there in Gita. And then mantra meditation, their benefits, and scientific research on mantra meditation. That was something very useful during the presentations. So we don't sound too much of faith-based, especially for the mantra meditation. That's it. So I'll let you quickly glance. The goal, we tell them that we are there to assist and facilitate them. And we just tell them, that we provide provide the education and training. And what kind of education are we giving? It's more of non-sectarian education that's embraced by people of diverse faith throughout the world. That's what they would like to hear. And it has the preventive and therapeutic information for body and mind. It also has a metaphysical science which can be applied for the wholesome healing. This is what they would like to hear and interest them, especially in the hospitals. So that was more to touch. It's an opportunity for us to touch a little bit on the philosophical part, Eastern philosophy and metaphysical education like that. And the testimonials, just to let them know what we are presenting is not something that we have manufactured, but endorsed by all these great thinkers. Those are the testimonials. And this is a quick statements about Bhagavad Gita from different perspectives. A book of wholesome healing, a self-discovery and inner journey book, and a life manual, etc. This is to just let them take what they like to take from the book. And just giving the basics of what Bhagavad Gita is giving us. And here starts the wholesome healing thing. We are presenting that wholesome healing is the health of the body, the mind, the intelligence, and the proper position of the soul. For most of the Christians, when they hear the soul and reincarnation, they may not want to hear a whole lot, but this we will be doing more of an educational thing to add to their fund of knowledge. So in that case, they would be receptive to hear. And if they are told, if they are informed that they will be able to give a better pastoral care to all the patients with this information, then that's one more incentive for them to know about this. So, what is Gita telling us about the body and about the mind, what exactly mind means, and what is the primary stressor, where does it tip off the mind balance, and the practices that Gita endorses for a balanced mind, and the benefits of this balanced mind, both in a regular life and from a medical perspective, and what exactly intelligence means according to the Bhagavad Gita. And in the booklet, there is more information of what healthy intelligence is and what not so healthy intelligence is. Information categorized from a more medical perspective, and information about the soul, consciousness, universal consciousness, super soul. That's about Gita introducing and wholesome healing aspect. A little glimpse about Srimad Bhagavatam, utilizing the opportunity. And this comes a mantra meditation. Giving them a little idea of what mantra meditation is, the roots of mantra meditation, and the uses of mantra meditation, especially in getting to the mindfulness and for the mental health. And the research that's done on the mantra meditation, on the Sanskrit words especially, because there are many mantras from many cultures, but they are not all Sanskrit, and there's no research on those mantras. But on Sanskrit, there is research, so we want to present that. That's the research part. And the scope of mantra meditation. This will give them a little incentive just to try that at least, the music therapy with kirtan or mantra meditation. And just giving a little summary of the effect of the study of metaphysical science and the mantra meditation on our consciousness, shifting from negative energy to the positive energy through this process. Yeah, just a little idea of what other mantras are available. You could expand on these slides. This is just the basic information. And letting them know that this particular courses that we are going to give would actually bring employee satisfaction and would improve work ethics and patient-centered care. They like to hear that. this is actually from federal government. Yeah, this is to give them an idea of where this literature can be placed. And then, oh, these are the facilities at North Carolina. Those are the facilities that adopted this literature over that 2 to 3 weeks. And these are the list of services that we are providing there. That's it. This will be the presentation for the phase 2. That's all I had to present. Thank you so much.